Hi guys, my name is Dan and welcome to the channel. In today's video we are going to see which is the most underrated car on Assetto Corsa Competizione. If you're fed up of driving a Ferrari, Bentley, Aston Martin and all the other cars people generally drive nowadays in your league races, then this is the right place for you. I had the same idea. I got out on track, tested out some of the cars that nobody drives, and I think I have some interesting conclusions. If you want to see more of this content, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. This is highly appreciated and helps this channel grow. Now let's not waste any more time, so let's begin. And the first car on the list, the older brother of one of the most powerful and balanced cars currently on ACC, the Aston Martin V12 with its amazing sounds and great engine. So this is the beast from 2013, one of the older cars, but nevertheless super interesting choice to drive. And the second car on the list is BMW M6, the car that is officially not racing anymore, and we are waiting for Kunos to update in the first quarter of 2022 and get the new M4. But until that happens, this car deserves to be on this list. And now things are really getting interesting. So the third car on the list is one and only Jaguar from 2013 to counter V12 from Aston Martin. It had to be on the list, and really one amazing car to drive. And to finish off, it has to be Honda NSX 2019, the car that's been completely forgotten but has every right and deserves to be on this most underrated car list on ACC. Now that we've seen all the contenders, it's time to get behind the wheel of each of them and see what's pro and con. And in the end, I will give you my personal opinion, which one is the best and which one you should try and challenge yourself with and challenge the other guys in league, so they think you're a crazy animal that drives the most underrated car on ACC today. Aston Martin V12, so the first contender and the first category I would like to rate is handling. Only 6 out of 10. The reason is it's very boring, very sluggish, very inert, well balanced, but nothing too special, nothing interesting. It makes lapping very tedious, and that's something I really didn't like. It's not slow, don't get me wrong, but overall the handling is not so interesting for me. Top speed, second category, I'm rating 8 out of 10. Well, only thing that prevents this car getting 10 out of 10, because it's really fast, is the acceleration. So it needs some time until it accelerates, unlike some other more agile cars, but nevertheless it's very fast, and this is a top weapon this car has. So 8 out of 10. Third category, are setting up the car. Well, the car is really well balanced. That's really a good thing. The bad thing is, or thing that I don't like, is that when you make a change, it doesn't have a large impact, at least not as on some other cars. I like to have a different approach to set up the car, and this is something that turned me off, so only 7 out of 10. And the last X Factor category, or the reason why you should choose underrated car in the first place, you just want a challenge in the league to be maybe the only car in the league, so you have to give it to Aston Martin. It's a really unusual choice, and in my opinion, because there is a much better counterpart, you have to give it 10 out of 10. And we move on to the second car. It's the BMW M6, and the first category is handling. I give it very solid 8 out of 10. The car is so interesting and so demanding and challenging, but with some setup tweaks, I believe there is a lot of potential to unlock. So my final grade, 8 out of 10. If there is something that makes this car super powerful, then that's top speed. It's one of the fastest, if not the fastest car on the whole grid, and it has a really great acceleration, so it's a no-brainer. I have to give it 9 out of 10. Setting up the car might be a problem because it's really super sensible and you really need to know what you're doing, so It's maybe for people that know what to expect and what to change. That's why it's a little bit difficult, so I gave it 7 out of 10. For the X Factor, I believe the BMW deserves at least 9 out of 10, because you can hardly see any BMWs in the any league races, and the car has a huge potential, so you just have to reward it with the higher grade. And we move on. It's the third car. It's the Jag GT3. Something completely different than anything you've driven on ACC in GT3 class. The first and second gear are super long. Sometimes the car feels very loose. On the other hand, very balanced in some corners. So it's really something different. Even then, if you relearn everything and readjust, I think it won't be enough. You will always lack that extra second or a half a second to your competitors, and you won't be able to do something special with this car. Of course, it depends on the driver, but for me personally, handling is a bit odd on this car, so 6 out of 10. I know some of you are going to hate me for it, but hey, it can get worse. So top speed is not the best thing this car can offer. It really lacks some top speed. I've tried it in various tracks, and believe me, you're gonna lack, like in Porsche, at least 6, 7 or more kilometers on those long straights. So for the top speed, I would give it 7 out of 10. As far as setting up the car, well, Jag is not that easy. You really need to know what you're doing if you want to get more out of your car, and you need it. So just based off potential difficulty, I give it 7 out of 10. So, last but not the least, the Jag is probably the funkiest car on the grid with the most amazing sound. So if you care more about that funky X Factor impact on the league and not so much on winning, then the Jag should really get 10 out of 10. And the last, fourth contender, Honda NSX, in my personal opinion, the best and most underrated car on Assetto Corsa Competizione. Let me give you more information why I think this is the case. So first of all, handling, I have to give it 9 out of 10. It reminds me of Porsche. It's super agile and really quick through the corners on corner exit, and you can really not disregard this, especially when you compare them to the other 3 cars. Then we have top speed. Everybody knows Honda is really fast car. You can easily defend, you can easily attack and overtake in the long straights, so you have to give it 9 out of 10. As far as setting up the car goes, well, there is one particular thing that I will show later in the setups that you build your car around, and it's really easy. Once you get a feel of it, then it's really not that difficult. That's why I have to give it 8 out of 10. In the last we have X Factor. Well, what can I say? A 9 out of 10 would be a fair grade, because it's not as flashy as Jag or maybe Aston Martin, but on the other hand, not a lot of people are driving Honda, so just for being that badass guy that's driving a car that nobody drives, you have to appreciate that, and let's give it a 9. Okay, this is where all the magic for Honda happens. In mechanical grip and aerodynamics, it's pretty basic stuff what you start from. So you put the values of anti-roll bar front around 3 and 4, and the anti-roll bar rear around 6 or 7. This will make your car a little bit soft at the front, a little bit stiff at the rear. You do the same for the wheel rates, so also put the rear ones a little bit more stiff. And what I found is the preload differential has to be a little bit higher, around 100-120 is the sweet spot, what I found. Regarding aerodynamics, for Paul Ricard, you should drive it very low at around 2, but for the other tracks you can go between 10 and 12, which is very suitable for almost every track. The ride height depends on the track, but what I found is I tend to push it as low as I can. Also, electronics, you want your traction control settings to be perfect for your driving style. If you put them too low, the car will be very agile and very unpredictable. So especially when you exit the corner, you can have a lot of oversteer. What I found, the sweet spot is 3 for traction control 1, and maybe 4 and 5 for traction control 2, which is the most suiting. Also, engine map should be around 3 for the race and 4 for the quali, which are two most important engine maps for Honda. When you try to set up the car this way, it will really be a beast. If you're a really quick driver, so better than myself, you will find yourself on the podium and probably winning, which is my case will never happen, but I will die trying if nothing else. It was so much fun for me. I hope it was for you, exploring the cars that usually you don't see in the league race, in the championship race. Everybody avoids them. But I wanted to try for myself to see if any of the three cars is better than Honda, because I have to be honest, I drove Honda a little bit more than the others, but it was a big difference from the get-go. Maybe BMW is closer than the other two, but for the BMW I'm really keen and cannot wait for Kunos to give us M4. That will be probably a superb car in the future. But I enjoyed immensely driving a Jaguar, and of course the Aston Martin, the older brother of the overpowered Aston Martin you see all the time. And in the end, yeah, it was a really cool experience. If you like this kind of content and would like to see more, please leave a comment, give me your opinion. Don't be too harsh, this is only my personal opinion, of course, and leave a like, which helps YouTube algorithm to recognize this video and maybe show it to more people, and of course subscribe to the channel. Guys, thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye!